On this episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast, we talk about, well, I know what it's called. I don't really know what it is. It's the Duck Stab and what's the other half?
Buster and Glen.
Duck Stab and Buster and Glen by The Residents. Hi, everyone. Wow, that was a little bit of a voice crack there.
Hi.
Welcome to another episode of the Bronze Medalist podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
And we're two professional broadcasters, so we've had a busy fucking week.
Yeah, it's been crazy.
And we love metal. We like to talk about it in March. We don't talk about metal.
Not necessarily.
We talk about other things.
Yeah.
What, you okay?
Yeah, I forgot something.
It's okay. It's all right. Oh, will you bring in, was it a birthday present?
Yes.
Okay. Well, don't worry about it.
I'll get it to you tomorrow.
Okay. Yeah, first of all, birthday boy here. It's going to be my birthday.
Yeah.
Probably when this comes out, if I remember.
If you remember.
And don't put it out, on Monday night at like 9:00 because that's when I remember. But yeah, I'm the birthday boy and it's coming up on Sunday. Going to be 24 years old. Oh my gosh.
I won't be twice your age again.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
that only happens once.
Well, it actually happened twice.
When will it happen again?
See, because when I was 44, you were 22, but then I turned 46 in February, and you're still 23.
Oh, okay.
See?
Yeah. All right. Yeah. Okay.
For now.
All right. Okay. Whatever.
That's fine. Whatever.
In any case, don't ask me to do math, man.
Mothman?
Yeah, Mothman.
Yeah.
That's an interesting way to say that.
Mothman.
The Mothman prophecies.
The Mothman.
Did you see that movie, The Mothman Prophecies?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Interesting.
Harold Mothman is saying all this stuff.
Harold Mothman. Yeah, like I said in the intro, we're two professional broadcasters. We work in the radio business, and
there's that crack again.
Yeah. Oh God, yeah.
I know. Well, it's because it's been long fucking days for us.
Yeah, it's been a long day. It's been a long, I guess, last 5 days in total as far as work days go, and a little bit outside of work for me as well.
Sure.
We live in North Dakota. For anyone who's ever missed that we live in North Dakota, and on Thursday we got our first confirmed case of COVID-19. So we've been on the ball covering that and getting the public their information and whatnot. And it's a very important thing, but it is also, man, it's resulted in some long ass days, especially for you.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the last couple of days I get home and I get to the door. I don't have my shoes off before I have a beer open.
Yeah. So I think today you left at your normal time.
I did because they insisted. And I'm like, you sure you got this? They're like, yeah. I'm like, I was vapor. I was gone.
Yeah. No,
tell me twice.
We're aware that you should not be there from 6 to 6.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's been a long couple of days. It's gonna probably continue to be long, but it will probably not feel as long.
Sure. Because
we'll be getting used to it, I suppose. Especially for me, because like, or like not especially for me, but I'm the one that, at least for the country station, stays long because I'm the last person in the broadcast day. So it just makes the most sense for me to remain in and do any sort of live stuff that I have to do.
And you get there last, usually.
Yeah, I'm usually
the last guy through the door.
Yeah,
well, and then again, the last guy through the door.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I leave the apartment at 8:30 instead of arrive at work, which means I arrive at work at 8:33.
Right.
So
because you live a block away.
Yeah. Not even that.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's been a time. It's been a time. I guess that's all we'll say about that. Other than we're both healthy right now.
Now,
immune systems, anyway, healthy immune systems at the moment.
Yeah, that was one of the new guy at the sales staff. He told me, he says, "Hey man, stay healthy." And I said, wow, that's making a big assumption.
Yeah, I've already failed. I've already desperately failed.
It's been years.
I was worried yesterday that maybe I was having another shingles flare up.
Right.
Because there was a little part of my chest that was suddenly very itchy.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, don't, not twice in a year. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
It went away. What I do have a little patch that is itchy is right below my belly button, sort of at the top of my pelvic area, is that's getting itchy. And that has happened to me before.
Sure.
Where it was like I can't remember if it was basically psoriasis or what it was, but when I was in college, I had a rash there for like months before I decided to go and get it checked out.
Was this your freshman year?
No, this was not my freshman year. This was like when I was probably, I think I was a junior, maybe. I don't know. Heading into that summer, and I had left it and just dealt with it and refused to go to the doctor because I was stupid. I'm still stupid. I'm just slightly less stupid. But like that was a thing. If I remember correctly, that was a thing that could pop up again, and it's in the same spot, and it's itchy, and it's not going away. And so, yeah, it might be. It's basically right where a belt buckle would sit if I ever bothered to wear a belt.
Sure.
And so that's been bugging me.
I got that too but that's because I have a slight nickel allergy. I have to wear surgical steel belts or
Surgical Steel.
Surgical Steel, great album.
But yeah, as far as I don't think it's it's probably the same thing it was before, but it's I don't know how long I want to wait before I go to the walk-in clinic. I don't know if I go to the walk-in clinic how long it's going to take me.
Sure.
To get checked out.
Just to get some of that like Decidin or something.
Something like that. Yeah.
I got plenty of that. I've had 6 million kids, so we got lots of ass rash shit in my house.
Ass rash shit?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It works on other rashes, not just the ass.
Yeah. And I can't remember what they gave me last time and if I could get like an ointment over the counter for it or something like that. But yeah, it's just inconvenient.
An ointment?
An ointment.
Ointment?
An ointment.
Ointment.
Ointment. Ointment.
Ointment.
Ointment.
Ointment.
Ointment. Ointment. It sounds like an Irish word.
Yeah. Or some sort of like an herb that pigs eat.
Okay.
Or that'd be an ointment.
Ointment. Yeah, that's ointment.
Yeah.
God, that's dumb.
You're welcome.
So over the last week or so, we both have been watching a TV show. We've been watching Hunters.
You got farther into it than I have.
I finished it.
You finished it.
I finished the season, and I mean, the Amazon promo that I've been seeing pop up, or like the little visual ad that pops up on Reddit, where it's just a still image and then a little headline where it says even Al Pacino doesn't know what's going to happen on Hunters. They're a big old two. The last episode has two extremely big twists. So yeah, it's
I'm gonna have to watch.
I didn't read any full reviews for it. I was just checking out the Wikipedia page and looking at the reception section, and I kind of agree with what they say there, which is it has great performances, but the tone is so wild. One moment it will be like very dark and serious and like very genuine and taking itself very seriously. Right. And then the next moment it will launch into this like parody vignette because it takes place in 1977, but they'll launch into like a parody vignette that seems to be from the perspective of someone in 2020. And it's like those interruptions, they're entertaining. They make me laugh and I go, yeah. But I'm also like, okay, but is this the place for that?
Right. It's consistently weird.
Could you figure out
consistency is weird.
Yeah. Could you figure out the tone? You get sort of tonal whiplash in some scenes. There was a scene in one episode with a scene featuring the female FBI agent on the show that made me cry.
Yeah, she's pretty awesome.
She's great. And there was a really, really touching scene that she has with her character's mom. And like, that was really, really good. And Al Pacino is fantastic. The cast is amazing.
Yeah.
The cast is really good. Al Pacino puts in a wonderful performance.
Mm-hmm.
Logan Lerman is great. I haven't seen him in anything since those terrible Percy Jackson movies. But he's really good.
Mm-hmm.
And
Carol Kane.
Carol Kane's in it. She's great as always because she's Carol Kane.
Of course.
Saul Rubinek, Josh Radnor, aka Schmosby from How I Met Your Mother. It's a really good cast. It's a really, really good cast. And the show, if you don't know, if you haven't seen any ads for it, is basically about a ragtag group of Nazi hunters that
in America,
in New York in the 70s, basically. I mean, they're killing people. It's not like most of the official Nazi hunters we hear about, where their goal was to
apprehend,
find and apprehend and capture people, and if necessary, bring them back to Israel for trial, or bring them wherever for trial, and then they would be hanged. Normally,
right?
Some of them were hanged anyway. Some of them just got put on, thrown in prison or that sort of thing. But no, in this show they do torture and kill people.
Sure.
And the show does have a very weird relationship with torture that I don't know if I'm entirely comfortable with. I don't think you're supposed to be comfortable with it. I mean, you're supposed to identify with Jonah, who's the main character played by Logan Lerman. You're supposed to identify with him because he is not sure about all of this.
Right. I mean, he's motivated by, his grandma. Well, not really his grandma.
Yeah, it's his grandma.
Is his actual grandma?
Yeah, Safta, I think, is Yiddish for grandma.
Right. I thought she was like an adopted grandma.
No, she's his actual grandmother. But it's a good show. It's not, it's not The Sopranos, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good stuff.
Well, I'm gonna have to catch back up. The reason I'm not as far into it as you are is because I would have to watch it pretty late at night because the kids have been staying up because there's no school.
Yeah.
And so, I caught up a little bit on Black Lightning, the season 3.
Black Lightning. What is Black Lightning?
Black Lightning is it was a comic book, and now they've made it into, there's 3 seasons on Netflix. I want to say, it's on Netflix.
I don't even remember hearing about this.
Yeah, it's a fun show.
Black Lightning. Okay. Not to be confused with Black Dynamite.
No, different thing entirely. Well, entirely.
There was an animated series for Black Dynamite for a little while.
But Black Dynamite.
I sell drugs to the community. God, that movie's so good. But it is a violent show. It is the first episode kind of makes you think, oh, this is going to be like The Boys, but with Jews. It is not quite that. It is not quite that level of holy shit, that dude's head just exploded while he was eating ass. Like,
which happens in The Boys.
It happened. Yeah, that happens in The Boys. It's not quite that level of gore. Nobody gets exploded because someone ran through them at 400 miles an hour,
which is like the opening scene of The Boys.
the inciting action of The Boys. But yeah, I recommend it. I recommend it. I also, I don't know if I can recommend yet Doom Eternal. God, I'm so excited for.
I too am excited. I'm also not as far in that one as I haven't beaten it yet.
I finished my run through it. If you set aside a few hours for it, it is not a very long campaign. I know you don't have a few hours all the time to set aside to play it, because that is also extremely gory and
nightmarish.
Yeah, and nightmarish and maybe difficult to explain, especially once you get to hell. Daddy, why are the walls made of teeth?
And the funny thing is, tell him about that today. I was like, it's getting great reviews, Doom Eternal. Everybody's saying what a fun game this is. And then I hear my wife from another room somewhere, he's not allowed to play Doom. She doesn't talk like that, but
I know your wife doesn't talk like that, but
I don't know why suddenly. Yeah,
that's your impression of your wife. But yeah, that's probably for the best.
Yeah.
Maybe someday.
Maybe
the original.
There's a sure. There's a lot of stuff that I want to share with the children.
Yeah.
When they get, oh boy, I can't wait to ruin you with this.
I got some weird shit to show you, kids. But yeah, I finished my run through of the one from 2016 since I bought it on PC for pennies on the dollar.
Sure. What, $10?
It wasn't even $10. I think it was like $6 for me on Steam.
I bought it on Sony PlayStation Store,
the PS Store. But yeah, I bought it on Steam. It was like $6. It's great stuff. I had played it on my Xbox One before, but I was like, I got to play it as it was. As I believe it was meant to be played.
With a mouse and keyboard?
With a mouse and keyboard on PC. That's how, I mean, hey, man, it was shareware back in the day. You get a floppy disk in the mail, and
it's got Doom on it.
It's got the first 2 levels of Doom on it, and then you have to buy the other ones. Like, that was how it worked. You got a demo in the mail, and you could buy the full
Doom
game.
2016?
No, sorry.
I was going to say the original did not come out that way.
The original Doom.
The original Doom
in the mid 90s. But I'm super excited for Doom Eternal. I'm ready to rip and tear, baby. I'm almost equally excited for Mick Gordon's soundtrack as I am for the game itself. Because Mick Gordon, I feel like once the game is out and once we're back into like metal, we should just do an episode talking entirely about the soundtrack for the 2 games, because it's some heavy shit, and boy, howdy does it slap. It slaps the ever living fuck out of you. Well, it doesn't slap the ever living fuck out of you. It lets you slap the ever living fuck out of everything that's on screen.
Yes.
It helps enable you to rip and tear, basically. Have you ever come across and used the Berserk pickup yet in your playthrough?
No, not yet.
It is a floating, like, sort of fiery orange ball. If you check like your mini map, it'll show you once you've like come near one, it'll show you like that there is a power up nearby. And what the Berserk power up lets you do is glory kill every demon instantly with your fists. There is one where you walk up to an imp and basically shove your fingers through its forehead and then rip it into with your hands head first.
Sure.
It is so gloriously gory. And there are other ones where it's like these huge like Hell Knights and whatnot that you're fighting, just punch in the face and it just splatters into guts. It's amazing. With my first playthrough, I made the mistake of never upgrading my power up effectiveness skill with the little elite guard chips you can find around the map. I never upgraded my power up effectiveness. And then this latest one, I was like, that was one of the first things I did because that means like once you're in like the end game and you're in this big arena and they send wave after wave after wave of guys towards you, you kind of like just run around, let the map fill up a little bit. Yeah. And then you go up to the Berserk power up and you can kill fucking everything in just this just whirlwind of gore.
So, I don't know how the full game mechanic yet. I haven't really discovered how to. I mean, you've been through it once.
2016 is really great at sort of easing you in to the mechanics of the game, so you feel really good at it by the time you progress later on and have all the weapons. The upgrades are pretty important, I would say. So definitely invest some time into walking around the map and trying to find stuff and looking at your mini map. And
see, I'm terrible. I look at the mini map and then I look at what I'm doing. I look at the mini map. I've already killed all the demons in this particular area, and I spend so much time just being fucking lost.
That is one of the drawbacks of 2016. And I don't know if Eternal is going to be any better on that front, because they put that sort of element in there. They made the environments labyrinthine like the original Doom, just with more, a lot more verticality than the original one could have, because it was 1995.
Sure, it was
whatever year it was.
It was 8-bit.
So they put a lot more verticality into it, but it makes the environments really confusing, especially in a lot of the UAC environments, because everything is just slate metal and it can be difficult to figure out where the fuck you're supposed to go. But yeah, it's it can get confusing and you can feel a little lost at points. And that's sort of, for some people, they're fine with that because key hunting and finding secrets and stuff like that has been a part of video games forever. They're very old school that way. But I don't know if Eternal is going to be quite that way, or if they're going to find a way to streamline things a little bit. I don't think I'll be unhappy either way.
No, and from what I understand, they drop kick your ass into action in this game.
That doesn't surprise me, especially considering the way that the first one ends. You haven't gotten there yet, but yeah, it makes sense that they would just kind of like instantly be like, and boom, start killing shit. I mean, that's basically what they do in the first one, except they immediately give you the shittiest pistol in the world.
Sure. Pew, pew.
It is the plasma pistol is the fucking wimpiest gun in existence.
The only good thing about it is that it doesn't run out of ammo.
Yeah, it has infinite ammo.
Yeah.
And you can charge up shots, and you can instantly knock an imp into glory kill.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, it's a piece of shit. I hate that pistol. I hate it.
Mm-hmm.
And it's fine because they only make you use the pistol for one scene, and then you walk into the next room, kill some zombies, and they immediately give you the combat shotgun. So it's like, oh, thank God, a real weapon for big boys.
What really sucks though is you get into combat and you've been wasting your ammo, and you get in there, you got a large area full of monsters. And low ammunition. Shit.
Ah, fuck. That's when you gotta.
Pew, pew, pew.
Oh, wait, no. Glory kill at the start of the game. Glory killing only gives you health. I forgot about that.
Uh-huh.
And then for a little while, if you run out of ammo, you have to rely on the chainsaw.
Sure.
Which, because it's a video game, it knows it's a video game, and they don't care about it being 100% realistic. When you kill something with the chainsaw, it explodes into ammo. Just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of bullets pop out of its corpse as it is falling to pieces, and you pick them up. So if you run low on an ammo during a fight, pull out the chainsaw and kill something.
Mm-hmm.
The bigger the enemy is, the more fuel it uses. But even killing just like an imp, which uses very little fuel, gives you a decent chunk of ammo. But yeah, there's a lot of really neat mechanics in these games, and I'm so excited, especially for the meat hook. It's attached to the super shotgun, which is your sawed-off double barrel shotgun. That is just amazing. And then they attached basically a grappling hook to the underside of the barrels. But it is a grappling hook that only works by shooting it into other people. And then
it draws you to them.
Yeah, it like Scorpion from Mortal Kombat. Instead of bringing them to you, you are going to them.
I'm coming over there.
Oh, you're approaching me? You've never done this before? I can't beat the shit out of you without getting closer. That's a JoJo's Bizarre Adventure reference.
Of course.
Because the Doomslayer does not talk. I don't know if he's capable of speaking. If he is, it's probably just feral grunts and roars. He doesn't make any noise when he gets hit. I think he might make some. I remember from the demos at E3, he does make sound when he gets hit in the new games. I'm not too fond of that idea. I feel like he should just be completely silent no matter how much pain he's in, because he's a fucking rage monster.
It'd be funny if they put that in there where he goes, oh.
He only does that if you're playing on the lowest difficulty.
Ew.
Oh, no. But yeah, I just feel like he should just be completely silent, because he's a rage monster, basically. It's a good thing he only kills demons. Okay, so do we want to make an attempt at talking
about the residents?
Talk about Duck Stab, and I always forget the other part.
Buster and Glen. It's a dog and a man. Buster and Glen. So the Residents, as I understand, is probably, are they one of your favorite bands? Probably. They're up there. I mean,
can you even really call them a band?
It's more of an art project.
It's an art project. It's a avant-garde
multimedia
collective.
If
you don't know anything about the Residents, they've been around for a long time.
I think they put out it was Santa Dog. That was in 1972.
Something that came out. So they've been around for damn near 40 years.
Over 40
Over
years.
40, damn near
They're 50 years.
50 years.
Well, they've definitely been around that long. I mean, they started out in Louisiana and they got in a shitty van and moved to Northern California.
But
as far as they could get.
ever since then, they've been making really, really fucking weird music and other stuff too, and art, and movies, and nobody knows who they are.
Yeah, well, sort of. I mean, everybody sort of figured it out.
Officially, nobody knows who they are.
Right.
To the point where a bunch of people, like when they first started out, people thought they might be the Beatles.
Well, because I made an album called Meet the Residents.
Yeah.
And it was the cover of Meet the Beatles that was just vandalized.
People thought that they might be the Beatles, just kind of like slumming it and making some really weird shit, because it was the early 70s. That's what the Beatles were doing.
Yeah, well, they weren't together anymore.
Yeah, they weren't together anymore. So people were like, are they secretly just making really weird fucking music? But so, yeah, tell us, I guess, a little bit more about the story of the Residents, your story with the Residents, whatever you know, whatever you can remember through the miasma of their listening. I feel like their music is kind of like The King in Yellow, the play that drives people insane.
Well, I really didn't come up on them until later in my 20s. I was looking. I needed something different. I mean, I've listened to a lot of metal.
Yeah.
And then there's different stuff. I worked at a country station at the time.
Yep. So basically your experience with the Residents is what is now what you're doing to me almost.
Essentially, yeah.
In my 20s, working at a country radio station, listening to a lot of metal. Suddenly, the Residents.
Yeah. Just, what the fuck is this? And I think the first Residents album I actually bought was their new one at the time, which was Wormwood, Curious Stories from the Bible.
Before we talk about that, how did you get introduced to the Residents? Like did somebody say, hey, this is really weird, listen to this? Or did you just like stumble across it somewhere else?
I never went on the internet until I was about 23. I was 23 years old before I ever went on the internet because it was new at the I'm old. Yeah. It was new at the time, and I went on and I think I just went down a rabbit hole, and ultimately I found this band. I think it was through Penn Jillette somehow.
Penn Jillette. Wow.
Penn Jillette. When he was very young, he was a disc jockey, and their album, the commercial album.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah. Came out. He played it in its entirety as commercials.
That's fucking genius.
Yeah.
That's really good.
And so I'm reading about that. I got to listen to this band. And so I went and I looked up their discography, and I bought that album, and I'm like, oh my God, what the fuck? This is crazy. And then
I've never heard anything like this before.
Yeah. And then I continued to buy. I think I probably have 20 of their albums.
Jesus. On CD?
On CD. Yeah.
Oh, wow. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Well, and the thing is, you have 20 of their albums, and that's
hardly
a
even
dent. That's hardly a dent in their discography.
Yeah.
Their discography is fucking insane.
I don't know that they're going to make any more music.
Yeah, they kind of got back together a few years ago, or I don't know if they have ever been broken up, but they hadn't put anything out in a little while. And then in 2017, they started making stuff again.
Right, and they were managed by the Cryptic Corporation. That was their managers. It was a guy named Homer Flynn, a guy named Hardy Fox. I forgot the other two, and it was clearly these guys were the band. Yeah, I mean, Hardy Fox is dead now, so
okay,
otherwise known as Charles Bobuck.
Do they have pseudonyms as part of the band? Is that a thing? I thought they were just always the eyeball dudes with the top hat.
Yeah, and they did different incarnations. I mean, recently,
the original Slipknot.
Yeah. Yeah, same concept. I mean, that was their idea. It was the theory of obscurity, which is the name of the documentary about the band. The idea was that they were going to not cloud things up with personality.
Yeah,
just make the art and just make the music.
Okay, and
and so that was their whole idea.
I appreciate that sort of sentiment of just like, hey, let's just make some really weird shit and make sure that nobody's going to make it about us.
Right.
Like, let's just make the art and leave the helpless public to figure out what to do with it.
Which nobody ever did.
Fuck it. This is yours now.
Yeah, this is weird.
We're done with it. It's yours. This is weird. Can you explain it?
No. Really?
You made it. So?
It's not supposed to be explained.
It's not supposed to be explained.
Yeah, it's what someone might call difficult listening.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it is probably the most purely avant-garde music I've ever listened to.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm not entirely unfamiliar with avant-garde music.
Sure. There's a lot of metal that would be considered avant-garde.
Yeah. And like last week we were talking about Obscura by Gorguts, which is probably the most avant-garde death metal album ever made. It's very difficult listening, extremely difficult listening to where like, I love what they're doing and I wish I could listen to it more. But really, if you want to do that, listen to their album that came out in 2012. It's still like prog, but it's not hard to listen to.
Sure, but Obscura very difficult to listen.
Oh my God, it's
fun.
It's almost completely atonal too. So it's like it's fun, but it'll melt your brain. And like what other, I mean, last year we listened to Ween, which kind of borders on sort of the avant-garde territory. Borders on,
but I mean, it's like they're great musicians.
Yeah. And then like Godspeed You Black Emperor.
Oh yeah.
Fairly avant-garde band.
Oh yeah.
And especially the spin-off, which is the Silver Mount Zion Band or whatever subtitle they've changed it to now. Like they've had a million different names that somewhere usually contain Silver Mount Zion, but they add a bunch of other stuff to it. That's even more avant-garde than Godspeed. But so I'm not completely out of my depth with this, but I certainly felt like it.
Sure.
This album opens up right out of the gate with some
Constantinople,
some really weird, kind of distorted keyboard.
Well, and that's actually a toy and a guitar.
Okay, well,
they play a lot of toys.
Somewhere in the background is what sounds like a bike horn.
Yeah,
something that sounds.
That's a guitar.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
I feel like what happened was they asked somebody, a friend of theirs, to put a bunch of random things that can make noise into a room. And then whatever instruments got put into the room, they would make a song with them.
Sure.
And that's how the album got made. That is what I think. I don't care if it's not the truth. That is my truth. It's genius, but man, it results in some weird shit. Also, most of the vocals on this album are
weirdly affected.
Yeah, they've got a phaser, they've got or they've got they're kind of distorted, or it's pitched up, or maybe I think there's a couple places where maybe it's pitched down. Nobody sounds normal on this album. I don't think anybody probably felt normal while they were making this album.
Yeah, I remember getting this and hearing a couple of the songs in here and going, wait a minute, Primus recorded 2 of these songs.
Oh, yeah. Well, and people basically accused Les Claypool of being a member of the Residents.
Yeah, which he soundly says, no, I was not. He was just a big fan.
Yeah, I mean, really, the guys from Primus like the Residents. Who would have fucking thought?
Crazy.
Yeah. Some of this reminded me a lot of, there's an animator / musician / he's just just multimedia artist, basically. His name is Jack Stauber. He makes a bunch of different stuff, some cool sort of like avant-garde synth pop type shit. That I wonder if he's a big fan of the Residents, because some of his videos and his songs are mildly reminiscent of some of the stuff on here, especially the way he does voices in any of his like animation. They're always kind of pitched up and kind of, they have some fuzz on them, the way that a lot of the voices on the Residents do. Yeah, I cannot overstate how weird this is. How weird it is.
And this is not their weirdest stuff.
Yeah, you told me this is one of their more accessible albums
of that era. Yeah, more accessible of the 70s stuff that they did.
Yeah, I mean this was 78.
78. This came out.
Or Duck Stab was 78, and then I think the Ducks. If I was reading about this, I think Duck Stab was 78,
and it was like an EP.
Yeah,
and then Buster and Glen was another EP, and they
mashed them together because they didn't like the audio quality on the first Duck Stab EP, and they're like, we'll just re-release it with this stuff we haven't released yet. And boy, there's some weird repeated riffs and themes on this.
Yeah,
I think they say the word semolina.
Well, there's a song called Semolina.
Yeah, and then I think they mention that more on a different song. There is a riff that repeats that basically sounds like ba, 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 with a couple just like two extra notes in there somewhere that I noticed was in a couple different songs.
They may not have done that on purpose.
They may not have. Who knows?
Who knows?
Who knows with these guys? This is a weird question to ask.
Yeah.
Does it slap?
I don't think it slaps. I think it pokes.
And it's not. And it's like a hey.
Yeah. Hey. Yeah. It's like no. Hey.
What you doing?
Hey.
What you doing?
No, it's a
I suppose, yeah. It's basically someone poking you while making the most annoying sound in the world.
Yeah. You want to hear the most annoying sound in the world?
Basically, yeah. It is very bizarre.
Yeah. And their stuff cleaned up later on, like in the 90s, especially because they had more technology at their disposal.
Yeah.
And apparently they look, we've made 40 albums. I guess the next one we figured this out by now.
We could probably learn how to play music.
Yeah.
This whole time I haven't known how to play guitar. I was just kind of faking it.
Right.
Nobody noticed. Yeah.
And they had a guest guitar player named Phil Lithman that they called Snakefinger.
Snakefinger.
And
Snakefinger.
Kinda. Well, they were really high and they were watching him play, and his pinky was gonna like strike at the keyboard. And it's like a snake. It's Snakefinger.
What the fuck?
And when Phil Lithman died way too young of a heart attack, they actually recorded an album called The Snakey Wakey.
Oh my god. I love these guys. I don't know if I enjoyed my time with this. I don't know if The Residence is my thing.
No,
but I like everything about what it is. I'm very, very happy that it exists.
Yeah.
And I'm glad people are putting this out into the world. I just don't know if it's my thing.
Well, no, and honestly, I feel like it would be a surprise if it is. And it's one of those things where I talked to somebody else who liked The Residence. You like The Residence? I'm like, yeah, that's a surprise. And this was coming from a Residence fan.
I had no idea anybody else liked it.
Yeah, how is that? Are you insane?
What's wrong? Are you okay? Are you okay? For a second, I thought you were going to say, I lost it. I lost what I thought you thought. Yep.
Brain.
It's been fried by listening to The Residence.
Yeah, I did make you listen to Fingerprints, which is very strange. Fingerprince, or Not Available. I could have made you listen to that. Their version of I Can't Get No Satisfaction.
I can imagine that's pretty weird.
Yeah, it is.
I mean, their version of Happy Birthday is pretty weird.
Yeah. Well, that's Birthday Boy.
But they sing Happy Birthday in the first half of that.
They do.
And then what's the last half? It's just I'm the birthday boy, or however that goes.
Yeah.
I've got the tone in my head. I cannot remember the exact progression of lyrics. It's that was like I listened to that at work earlier today, and I was like, okay, this is weird. It was actually that was my reaction when I was at home. When I was at work, I was just like, okay, whatever. When I was at home, I was like, this is making me uncomfortable because it's my birthday in a couple of days, and this feels way too personal. I don't. Do we want to talk really quick about the eyeball thing? Do you know what the history is with the eyeball helmets?
Well, I know one of them got stolen at one point. And there was a big reward for it.
For one of their eyeballs.
I thought you were gonna go, money, please.
Money, please.
Yeah.
No, I wanted the bottle opener. I don't ask for money. I ask for alcohol.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it was just a thing that they found that thought was a good idea and sort of gave uniformity to the band.
Yeah.
One of them was a skull for a while.
Back before the days of Daft Punk.
Sure.
Instead of robot helmets, people were wearing eyeball helmets with big old top hats attached to them. I imagine they have many different models of the eyeball helmet.
Potentially.
Some way, or do they always, is the top hats in the tuxedos always a thing?
No, that's not always a thing. In fact, it hasn't been a thing in recent time. And it's funny, you'll see like tour footage and you'll see them on stage. It's like, wow, there's a lot more than 4 of them up on stage.
Yeah.
So
I saw one picture from a live performance where he was wearing what looked like
an old man mask.
Yeah, an old man mask.
Yeah, he did that for a while.
Okay.
Yeah, and I want to say that's Hardy Fox. That's who that is. He passed away in 2018, I think.
They seem like the type of band to they're on this record label that they created.
Yeah.
And they're managed by this company that they created. Like they build an entire world around them.
They had to. I mean, they tried to get signed on major labels. And
good luck.
That's how they got their name. I mean,
the Residents.
Yeah, they got a return from, it was a Capitol Records. Or was it Columbia Records? Is one of the C's. They got and they didn't bother saying who they were because they didn't have a name at the time.
Yeah.
And they said to
the residents of
this apartment. No.
Respectfully.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
Not even respectfully.
Yeah.
Just no.
Just no.
Just no. Sincerely, Barry Gordy.
Yeah. I don't think they tried Motown.
They didn't try Motown?
No, they didn't.
Are you sure?
Maybe. I don't know.
Are you sure they didn't try Motown?
It's an equally long shot.
Oh, my God. So I didn't even try to bother looking up a score for this. I imagine this is a thing that was polarizing at the time and has probably come to be more well reviewed as time has gone on, or it might be one of those things that has remained very polarizing over the years. I don't know. And I don't know where this stands in the Residents canon among Residents fans of like, is this an album that Residents fans say is their best, or is it like
it's well liked?
It's well liked. Okay. Because I have no barometer. I have no barometer for these things whatsoever when it comes to this band. I really don't know.
Yeah. Another one you might want to enjoy is Third Reich and Roll.
Third Reich and Roll.
It's 2 songs, but it's actually like dozens of songs. It's 2 sides. They spliced a whole bunch of actual pop songs together from the time.
Okay.
And then they played along with them, and then they eliminated the original underlying pop songs from the recording.
See, again, I love everything that they're doing. I just don't know if I like listening to it.
And I remember it was New Year's Eve, 1999, going into 2000. I was laying on my futon in my apartment,
waiting for Y2K to happen.
I wasn't. Yeah, I didn't know. I mean, I'd had a couple of beers, and then I remember my friend Jason gave me a bag of mushrooms. And I thought, you know what? This would be the way to turn it over. Let's just listen to Third Reich and Roll while I'm on way too many mushrooms. And I ate the mushrooms, and it started becoming a nightmare scene for me.
Yeah,
doing this, and it got late in the evening, and then I had to run out of my apartment, and I ran, and I eventually got to what is now Nola's.
Okay.
And
how far away was that from your apartment?
Oh, a ways.
Oh, God.
And I remember I was dancing with this woman who was, I don't know, she had been in her mid-50s, and we were waltzing together as the midnight turned around, and I remember still having in the back of my head just their version of These Boots by
whomever did These Boots
by Nancy Sinatra.
Jesus, wow, that might be the most OJ story I've ever heard. That might be the most you story. Oh wow, that's an experience right there. And I mean, of course, it started turning into a nightmare because that's what I was thinking. Is there are some things, there's some artwork that people describe as dreamlike. A lot of David Lynch movies are dreamlike.
Yes.
This album is nightmarish.
Sure.
It is. It does this is not a fun, pleasant dream. This is like Alice in Wonderland on acid. This is so if you're in an altered state and you listen to this, you're probably not going to be in a good place for a little while. Maybe. Unless this is really your thing, in which case go after it. I guess maybe I shouldn't officially recommend drug use, but hey, whatever. You do you.
Yeah, the drugs we're recommending are not the legal ones. Yeah. Well, which we're not recommending.
Which we're not recommending.
No, which we're talking about.
Hey, we don't know what state people live in.
Sure.
But
LSD is not legal in any state.
That you know of. It's legal in the altered states of America.
Sure. I've been there.
An album by Agoraphobic Nosebleed.
Yeah.
Good old drum machine grindcore. We'll have to do an album from them at some point.
At some point, that would be a great idea.
Yeah. What's your favorite track on here?
My favorite track on here, maybe Hello Skinny is possibly one of my favorites.
Hello Skinny is very good. Were it not for the sort of joke that I want to make. And it's not really a joke. I think Hello Skinny is genuinely one of the best, probably the best song on here. My favorite, I kind of have to say Birthday Boy.
Because you are the
Because I'm the birthday boy. And it just... It made me feel weird, but it did make me feel special.
Weightlifting Lulu is also a beautiful song.
Weightlifting Lulu. Yeah, I remember that being a good one. But Hello Skinny, when I was listening to it, it stuck out in my head. I was like, this is the one that sounds the most like a song. This is the one that sounds the most like music. I think I'm going to call that one my favorite song. Because I'm not calling Hello Skinny my favorite song. I'm saying Hello Skinny's the best song. Birthday Boy's my favorite.
Okay.
Because I'm your birthday boy. Oh boy.
Birthday boy.
What medal are you bestowing upon Duckstab? Like Maz Kanata to Chewbacca. I think I forgot that last week.
Right. See, I have to give this a gold because it's important to me. I know you will not give this a gold, which is fine.
Don't speak for me.
No, okay. I'll let you. Hey, you have a microphone. You can speak for yourself.
Yeah, I'll speak for and I have vocal cords and and lungs and a mouth and a tongue.
A smelly tongue.
And that is a residence thing.
Yeah.
And teeth and gums and a palate. I'm just going through all the things that that affect your voice.
Sure. And a nose that affects your voice.
A nose. I have a nose. I have a big nose. I have a big old schnoz. So that affects my noise. It affects my noise a bit. So anyway, I'm going to give this a gold for what it is.
Sure.
For the effort.
Like if you were giving gold to a track star for swimming.
Like you did remarkably well in the wrong event. So here you go. So we're just going to give it to you.
There you go. Yeah.
Sorry, Michael, you have enough.
Yeah. He had a fucking shot put. I don't know what you were. I don't know how you beat him a little bit, sure, but yeah.
Fuck, Usain Bolt was swimming. Michael Phelps was doing shot put. Like, who fucking knows? Yeah. Those are the only two Olympic athletes I can think of, by the way.
Caitlyn Jenner.
Yeah, Caitlyn Jenner. What was Caitlyn Jenner doing? Figure skating?
No, track. Did you remember?
Well, yeah, I'm saying in this fiction we're coming up with where athletes are performing in events that they do not traditionally do.
Javelin.
Okay. All right. Caitlyn Jenner was doing javelin. Okay. So, I guess. Well, I was about to say, so what are we doing next week? But it's technically my go of it.
It is.
And I think
next week, is it still going to be non-metal March?
Yeah, it should be, theoretically speaking.
Okay, yeah, it will be.
Depending upon how.
Well, the 22nd falls on Sunday.
And I'm wondering if I want to sacrifice a week
and do it.
If I want to, I think I want to sacrifice a week so we can talk about The Fanatic.
Because I suggested it and you said, nah, but I want to enjoy my birthday.
Yeah, I got nothing better to do.
Right.
We had some family plans maybe, but then viral outbreak escalated. So I got nothing better to do. We might as well watch The Fanatic.
All right.
Spend my 24th the day of the anniversary of my 24th
anniversary
the 24th anniversary of my coming into this world watching The Fanatic. If you don't know what The Fanatic is, it's a movie starring John Travolta, directed by none other than Fred Durst, best known as the lead singer of the greatest metal band to ever exist.
Makes me laugh every time you say
Limp Bizkit.
Sure.
Who made the greatest album ever made. Chocolate Starfish in the hot dog flavored water. The greatest album ever made. And he made the greatest movie ever made. It was so good. It only made $3,000 for its domestic gross. And a movie starring John Travolta, a man who was once one of the biggest stars in Hollywood, made a movie that grossed $3,000. I don't know if any of the weird direct-to-video shit that Nick Cage has made has done that bad.
Right.
Remember when people used to watch, probably in like the mid to late 2000s, maybe getting into the early teens, people would maybe watch, say, a movie like Face Off, right, with Nicolas Cage and with John Travolta,
right,
and they would go, "Man, Nicolas Cage's career hasn't worked out. It's a good thing John Travolta is still making decent movies." Remember that?
Yeah, that was hilarious.
So we're gonna talk about that next week, I guess.
Sure.
Maybe we'll watch it and just immediately get in here. I don't know.
Watch the movie and then afterward, because generally if you watch a movie like this, you have to have a few drinks with it. Yeah. So I think that would be nice if we watched the movie, got loosened up after like 3 or 4 beers and came in here and went, oh shit.
Shit, guys. This is fucking weird. So yeah, that might be my weekend plans.
All right.
So that's, until further notice, that's the plan.
If you decide against it, I'll understand.
No. I've said it. Said it. We're locking it in. We're doing it. All right.
Set it and forget it.
Yep. So thank you all very much for listening to another episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast. We're not ready for that yet. If you like this sort of thing, please.
I'm just grabbing it.
Yeah, you're just grabbing it. I got you. Don't worry.
The beer.
Yeah.
Because you can't hear about what I'm.
That's okay. No, they know. They know. So, if you like this sort of thing, please find us on Libsyn and on iTunes. You can subscribe to us on either of those, whichever you prefer. If Libsyn, if you don't have an iOS device, you can download. I believe it's called the podcast app.
Yep,
is Libsyn's one, and you'll find us there. And so we'll be on your phone. You can carry us with you. That's what I have to do because I have a Samsung. So we'll be there for you. You can also check us out on Facebook and on Twitter, and we'll post new episodes there. If you don't feel like subscribing to anything for whatever reason, I don't know your life. I don't know what you're about. So go and do that. If you like us, help us out. Give us a like. Do that sort of thing. Anyway, well, thank you once again for listening to another episode of the Bronze Metalist podcast. I'm Kale.
I'm OJ.
Congratulations!